Hello everyone, as you've seen from the title of this video, I have just recently been diagnosed, recently as in yesterday, with something called Ankylosing Spondylitis. I apologise if I don't say that right. From now, here on in, I'm going to call it AS, which it's known as. I'm devastated, as you can imagine. This is a progressive disease. It's an illness, an autoimmune disease, which I don't know why I'm shocked, but I feel really shocked about this, and I had lots of tears yesterday. I don't know why I'm feeling emotional now, because I've just got to get on with it. I just want to put out there, because for a long time I've been saying that I want to take my business online because of the way that I've been feeling. And I have Crohn's disease, I have celiac disease. These are all autoimmune diseases. So my body, for whatever reason, I think I probably know the reason, but it's attacking itself. That's going to be progressive, and I can do everything that I can, and I will be strict with myself and exercise and do what I can. But I want to still continue to live life and work, and that means taking everything online. So please support me with this channel and my blog and everything else, because I'm intending to try and really grab life right now, and I'm going to document it all. I hope it'll be of interest to you, but I'm going to need support, as in, if you just subscribe to this channel, then you watch the videos and there'll be adverts pop up in the beginning, even when you skip it. Like, if you don't skip it, it ends up being better, but sometimes there'll be links down there to all my other stuff, and you can for instance, like if I make my holiday vlogs and you book your holiday through there, it's not a lot of money, it's a little few pounds here and there, but it adds up, and it's going to allow me to do the work that I want to do and tapping into as and when I can. Because if you're someone that deals with some long-term health condition, you will know trying to commit to going to work is really difficult, because of you might get a good day and then you'll get a bad day, and you've also got to, like with me now, I know I've got to increase my looking after myself. I've got to start to exercise a lot more. I've put all this on the back burner since I've been at university the last 4 years, and you know, I've gained 3 stone in weight, which I'm clearly unhappy about for cosmetic reasons, but now I know that for physical reasons that's got to change. So in case you don't know, we've got a little bit of an update on my mother and her situation. So she fell over last week, and she lives here with us. This is her sofa. Our house is very cluttered right now because we have all these people in it, and I'm trying to look after everybody, and I need to start putting myself as number one, which I'm going to do. I've found that there's been loads of videos and loads of things that I want to write, and I've taken my writing full-time online now. I still do a few other little bits and pieces, but writing is the way that it's going to go for me. I'm also finding out about some software where you can speak it and it gives you text, and you just got to edit it, because in case the fingers get sore. So where do I start now? It's a bit of a long story as to how I was diagnosed. Maybe that's for a different video. This was really just to let you know what's happening, let you know how you can support me. It's not a great piece of news. For years I felt so tired, and I've said things before on this channel, I sound like I'm being such a moaner and a whinge bag, but I don't mean to be. But my parents always used to take the mickey out of me as a child, the fact that I could just be sitting there 1 minute and I'd be asleep the next, like that. And AS is a disease that makes you very fatigued, and I've always said that's like my worst symptom, is the fatigue, you know, and it really is. So I've grown up feeling as though I've always got to keep fighting, and I've got to be like this just fighter person. And now I'm trying to use it as a blessing, and thinking that no, I can stop fighting now, I can respect this illness, and I can somehow try and use it to my advantage to make this online dream come true, knowing that, you know, if I get really tired, which, look, the baggy eyes, I mean, they're awful, but I'm better than I was, and I think finishing uni's probably really helped about all that. I'm not sure about the hair today. What about you? What do you think? Never mind. Yeah, I think finishing uni's helped with that, and I'm really excited to start my course next year, which is the writing, and it's based from home, so I'm really excited about that, and that's for my master's degree. It's 100% the right decision. I don't really know what to say. Maybe I'll talk about maybe from here on in, like if you want to know more, I talk about my diagnosis and the process. I have had on Twitter lots of lovely people getting in touch. I put out a tweet with the hashtag Ankylosing Spondylitis, that's how you say it. And I've had some lovely people get in touch and give me some links of places I can go to find things out and all of that. But in a nutshell, I've got autoimmune illnesses, several. So I've got celiac disease and Crohn's disease. Both of those are where the body, your antibodies act in a way that is inappropriate. So my antibodies are attacking at the minute my spine and my hips. I didn't say this, it's ankylosing spondylitis and sacroiliitis. I don't know whereabouts in my spine, I haven't seen the MRI report. I've just literally had the letter that they dictated to my GP. The ankylosing spondylitis is anterior and inferior, so outside and inside, front and back. So left and right of my hips. So no wonder they was hurting. I've been saying this for a long time. I've been doing hairdressing, you probably know, for about 17 years now, and I've loved it and I still love it. It doesn't love my back, so I'm very grateful that I was able to train and do this job where I can work it around my children, so that I was able to be that hands-on mum. But you know, I really can't do that anymore. I'm doing a handful of people, and I love that, and I want to keep going with that as best as I can, but it literally is a handful of people. Writing and doing these video diary things are just totally the way that life has got to go. And I think as well, if you're somebody else that struggles with life and you can possibly use the digital world to make your living, then great, do it. If you want more information from me about that, then always reach out. There's loads of information in my comments thing down below, and emails, addresses and whatnot, so get in touch. From the age of when I was born, let's go back this far, this is going to be a long video now, because I'm a nutritionist, a newly graduated one, in case you didn't know, which I know you do. The reason I got into that was wanting to find out all the things that I could about what's happened to me and why, and seeing if I can change it with diet. So with my Crohn's disease, when I was diagnosed with that, I need to make another Crohn's video actually. When I was diagnosed with that, my gastroenterologist at the time said, you will not get yourself into remission without drugs or surgery. And I was like, let me try with my diet, and we actually really banged heads over it. But in the end, I got myself into remission through diet, and he did sit and eat humble pie. Which was very good of him to do that, and he says not seen that before. So yeah, I'm such a believer that diet can help, and I know with AS it's also exercise, getting the core muscle stronger. So I need to be swimming, I need to be doing Pilates and yoga, and I've always said that they help me. It's the stretching as well, I think, which I've not read anything about that, but for me, when I stretched, it really seems to help. I was born, I'm going to sound like really ungrateful. My parents weren't like the worst in the world, but they did a lot of things wrong, which has brought me to this place. And I don't want to have a chip on my shoulder about it, but I'll be honest, I do. They didn't know, and they didn't knowingly do any harm, but what we know now with science, you know, they caused a lot of damage. I say they, probably mum. So I was born, and apparently I just kept screaming and screaming and screaming. So now I know what I know. I probably had a really bad stomachache. Mum did breastfeed me till I was about 1 year old, and she was a heavy smoker as well, so I don't know if that was doing anything to me. But anyway, at the age of 3 days old, this is quite shocking, she decided to start feeding me baby rice because she assumed I was hungry. And now we know you shouldn't feed your babies until 6 months old, and please don't. If you're a mum or an expectant mum, don't feed those babies before that, because they're just not ready, their systems aren't ready, and they'll end up with problems like me and sit here as a 40-year-old woman saying about all these problems. And you can avoid that. Don't ruin their life because you think they're hungry. You know, if science has shown that they're not adapted to it, then just don't do it. Anyway, so they carried on giving me baby rice even though I was screaming more and more, and mum used the terminology, and I grew up with this, which of course has messed with the head. The terminology was, if you was the firstborn, which I wasn't, my brother was the firstborn, there would never have been a second. You was a beep word little cow, beginning with B, I used to throw you down the end of the garden and just leave you there to scream. I'm guessing that I was in a cot or something, I don't know. And just leave you to scream and, you know, stuff like that. So then throughout my, like from then onwards, so from very early onwards, I had constant tonsillitis and ear infections. I can remember having loads of antibiotics, having loads of time off school through all of that. The ear infection actually got to the stage where it's so bad that when I was 29, I had to have surgery behind here, which was scary as heck. But my eardrum had perforated, the infection had got behind into the hearing bones, and they needed to drill out part of my skull. It's called a mastoidectomy. So the mastoid bone, which is in the skull here, they had to take a part of that away, part of my hearing bone, so I can only hear 30% in this ear now. This ear has only got 70% hearing, so, you know, that's great, because I don't, you know, this sort of thing's great for that. It doesn't matter that I'm partially deaf, so that's that. But yeah, so I was always ill and always on antibiotics, and now we know about the gut microbiota and how antibiotics can like just mess all that up. So I know that my microbiota are not good, and the reason that I know that is when I do things like eat too much fruit or do juicing, I end up with candida overgrowth, and again that flares in my ears. They swab it and they say, oh yep, candida, it's the candida bug, and you can get thrush and you can get athlete's foot and problems inside your mouth and all that sort of thing. So I know for sure that this is a problem that's ongoing for me, and I wonder if there's a link, and I need to do some more research. So thank God for my degree in nutrition and science. I can now do the research I need to do to try and figure it out. This is all very new at the minute. So anyway, this is how I went through. So I was an ear, nose and throat person. My nose not so bad, but now I'm also left with loads of allergies. So I'm allergic to gluten. I'm also allergic to dairy, and that's got stronger recently. I don't know why. I also get really bad hay fever, and it's just so annoying. All these things. I don't want to be this person. I want to be this person that's a go-getter in life and makes things happen. So life history, here we go, carry on. When I got to the age of about 12 or 13, I started to do dancing, and the dancing was great. I loved it, and it was totally me. I've always been a music person, and music and dance was just great. But my back really started to play up really badly, and then I can remember I had a problem with my wrists, and I was in a bandage for months and months, and a problem with my ankle, the back of my ankle, like the heel bit, you know what I mean? And they said to me, oh, it's just growing pains. Then I also started to get issues which I now know were symptoms of Crohn's. I didn't know that at the time. I wasn't diagnosed with Crohn's until I was 38, so oh my goodness. And obviously now I know that the back issue and the joint issues it was just all inflammation, and the Crohn's, which is inflammatory bowel disease. So so I've gone through life infertile as well, had 9 years of IVF to have my babies, another emergency surgery through having endometriosis. I think that might be autoimmune as well, or is it? I don't know, I don't really want to say. Yeah, so all these problems and all these issues with my health, but the biggest thing that I've always suffered with is fatigue alongside the pain. And Mum and Dad used to take the mick. They used to think it was funny. Oh, it's alright, she can sleep anywhere, you know, and they used to really literally laugh at how I could be fine 1 minute and sleep like that the next, and it wasn't funny. So I fought it and fought it and fought it, and throughout my 20s I worked so flipping hard. I used to do ridiculous hours. So now, knowing what I know now, I think there's some adrenal burnout there as well going on, but I've done it now. I can't go back and undo any of those things. All I can do now is use knowledge as power and move forward. I can't believe I'm making this video and being so strong, because yesterday I was in bits and I thought I need to tell you guys all this stuff to hopefully help someone else. I really hope it's going to help someone else. And I thought I'm going to sit and I'm going to cry making this video, but I do really feel strong. I feel knowledge is power. I need to live the life, the absolute best life that I really want to live. Now, I want to go travelling. With the way that my spine is, like these square spines, fusion can happen. Now that chokes me up. And permanent wheelchair use. Now I do already have a wheelchair. I don't even like to say that. and there have been a few occasions when it's been really bad, and if we've gone to, if you know Blue Water, we've gone to Blue Water. It's a massive shopping complex. It's ideal for being pushed around in up there, and it's the one time I've always said I don't enjoy shopping. Well, I did enjoy shopping, but I just didn't enjoy the pain that went with it. And if you've lived with something all your life, you don't really realise how bad things are. So I don't know. But yeah, it could mean I've got to use that a lot more. So I want to really do my travel stuff now as much as I can. I can't do it while I'm looking after mum, so I might use the time while I'm looking after mum to do the planning and the organising and saving up and everything else, and then just, you know, just go do it. It would just be incredible to go do it. So if you've got any tips or advice about that, like backpacky sort of travelling, then leave it in the comments down below for me. So I want to use my research to try and tweak my diet, get out and exercise every single day. I'm absolutely going to have to, and I'm going to have to adjust my work and just be a little bit more asking of you guys that please, you know, support me and support my online goals. And I know there's so much that can be done to make life better, hence the brand A Lusher Life, because I love talking about that, because I think you're dealt something that's not great. You can hear Harley snoring. You're dealt something that's not great, and you can sit and cry, and I do think there is a time and a place for that as well. But then there's another time when you think, hang on a minute, it could be worse. And while it's not worse, and whilst I'm in a fortunate position where I can take my work with me, I'm going to go and do this stuff. So I'm going to try and use that as a positive. Now, as I learn more about AS, I will be giving you guys some guidance and links and tips and things, but I need to do a lot of research on it, and I will probably blog about it over on my Lusher Life Nutrition blog. Meanwhile, I just got to get on with it. I'm waiting for some more results now. I've had some more tests done, but I'm going to be okay. So thank you if you've listened this far. Thank you so much, and I will look forward to seeing you in my next video, which will probably be about Turkey, because I'm in the middle of editing those, and then this came up and I wanted to make the video. I haven't cried, well done me, yay! And for those of you that have always supported me throughout this whole journey, thank you so much. I'm so grateful of it, and I'm so grateful of life right now, and knowing and knowing the people around me who are really supportive of me. They're brilliant, and yeah. So there's a lot I could moan about, but there's a lot I could be grateful about. So I'm going to focus on that for now. And I actually feel okay, to be honest. I feel okay. It's not, nothing's changed as of, like, from last week to now. I've had this for ages. I just now know about it. And like I say, knowledge has got to be power, hasn't it? That's a good way of looking at it, right? If you think that's a good way of looking at it, please give me a thumbs up. And hashtag positivity. And if you can't spell it, just positive will do. Okay, everybody, take care of yourselves. Thank you very much for listening to this far, and see you later.